How we doing, everybody? Tim from Ski Rex Media back again. And not only am I back again, today's guest is back again for the second time. One of our friends from across the pond, as people say. I don't know, I feel kind of silly saying across the pond, but everybody knows what you mean when you say it. So I will say it, and we'll get into that in a minute. But first, we're going to get into my home mountain, one of Ski Rex Media's partner mountains, the probably primary partner mountain, one of my favorite places. I was actually there yesterday, which was the September 11th for the concert and duathlon. Very fun time. Whaleback Mountain in Enfield, New Hampshire. Small but awesome, old school vibes, partly natural. Not everything is groomed. So if you need a little bit more, I don't know, difficulty in your skiing, head over there. If you need it to be easy, go over there. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, go over there. Everybody go there. It's also super accessible. It's exit 16 off of I-89. It is the easiest ski resort to get to. Literally, if you were to be a bad person, an environmentally bad person, and throw beer cans out your window, you would hit cars in the parking lot. That's how close to the highway it is. It's only, okay, there's truck stops there, but who cares about those? Exit 16, Enfield, New Hampshire, one of my favorite places to ski, my home mountain, my partner mountain. Ski Rex Media Podcast is brought to you in part by Whaleback Mountain. Please head out to Whaleback Mountain. Check that out. Very awesome. Whaleback Mountain, ski it to believe it. And while Whaleback Mountain is right up the road from where I am right now, where I'm doing this, the person I'm talking to is a good, I don't know, what is it, Kim? 3,000 miles away?
A long flight.
It is a long flight. And I've heard coming down into Heathrow is crazy because of that way they have to do it. Kimberley Kay, author and illustrator of Ski A to Z, who was on the program last year talking about her book and the art in it, and we loved it and we showed it off. Very good. Kim, how are you?
I'm really good, actually. How are you?
Oh, I'm excellent. Right before we started, Kim and I were talking about how we would love to get into, it is 9/12. Now, granted, you're not hearing this till September 28th, but it is September 12th, and we all know the Queen has passed, and we would love to talk about that with someone who is on ground level, and maybe we will. But right now, we're going to get into what Kim is doing, what she has been up to since we last spoke last season. What have you been up to?
Yeah, so just after we spoke last year, my book was actually available, Ski A to Z or A to Z. And for those who don't know about the book, it's an illustrated introduction to skiing, and it's really full of tips, information and advice for skiers. So basically, the book was actually finalized like this week last year. So it's been quite a whirlwind of a year promoting the book and meeting people and getting out to slopes and doing book signings. So yes, I've been really busy doing that.
Now, the thing is, it's funny because it's a ski book and it's wonderful. I have read through it. I have one of my favorite illustrations. It's framed. It's here at the office and it's great. And the illustrations are wonderful, whimsical, and just very good. But the tips in it are top notch. And we know that. But I did kind of feel bad as you've been gaining success, not for your success on it, but it almost felt like you were at booths signing books more than skiing. Was that true?
Well, during the winter I was skiing, and then through the summer months I've been doing book signings and things, but I've been doing some of them at snow slopes anyway, the indoor snow slopes and dry slopes. So you can have a ski, while you're doing those anyway, but not while you're actually signing a book. But then that would be quite an interesting little reel, wouldn't it, to be actually signing a book whilst skiing?
I would say do it. Be careful. Like it feels dangerous to me, but I'm a chicken. You're probably a better skier than I am anyway, so you could probably do it. I say do it. I think it would be a great bit. Have you had anybody catch you on the slope? Like, I have one. Will you sign it?
Not that, but we did take the book out. I took it out into the French Alps, took it up to Val Thorens, and did some video footage there of skiing with the book, and then doing some spins on skis whilst holding the book. So that was fun. I did actually manage to get a copy of my book into the hands of the legendary Franz Klammer earlier this summer, which is just awesome. So Franz Klammer has a copy of my book, so that's exciting.
It really has. Like, it was amazing because, like, as you said, we talked about the time it came out, and I follow Kim on Instagram, Inspire by Kim, no D, Inspire by Kim, one word on Instagram. I believe that is right. I'm not butchering that, am I?
No, that's correct. Yep.
Cool. And you follow it. And it was, again, like you said, you've been busy and you do post as much as you can of this busyness. And it's just one signing right after the other. It's the book. It's the book. And people love it. Like I've talked to people here in the US who love it too. Kim was also, I believe you talked to Brian and Mario over at Highfalutin's Ski Bum podcast, friends of mine. And they've talked about how much they enjoyed the artwork and everything too. People love it. Like, have you found any negative for it yet at all?
I think sometimes because it's illustrated, some people think, oh, well, it must be for children, but it's not. The book's for everybody. I mean, the kind of rationale behind that is when we're looking at the internet, if we're looking at Instagram and Facebook, how many posts do you actually read where there isn't an image or an illustration or something? So, it's a way in which we read now. We expect things to be backed up with images, with photography, with illustration. And I like illustrated books. So I just thought I want my book to be illustrated and I want it to be accessible to everybody so that people, however young or old they are, can all get something from it.
Absolutely. And again, the illustrations are wonderful. I say go check it out. And again, we'll let Kim at the end plug everything. And obviously links will be in the show notes and everything like this. Now, as you continue to promote the book, again, it's been a year, guys, and she can still promote it. It's like that song that just doesn't go away from the radio. She's not going away. It's that good. You're going to be, and this is interesting for me because of who's running it. I'm actually going to be talking to Stephen Morgan myself. That company that's running the snow show, which Kim will be at, which is what I'm tripping over my words to try and get to. They also run the one in Boston, which I don't think she'll be at. That would be cool, but no. So you're going to be at the National Snow Show over there in October, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be at the National Snow Show. I've got a stand there. So I'm going to be selling my ski art prints. I'm going to be signing books. And also I'm going to be speaking at the show. I'm going to be presenting about what beginner skiers need to know before they head to the slopes. So that's really exciting.
That is exciting. I think that's great. For us in the ski world, having someone like Kim speak at one of these big conventions is not unlike the panels at a Comic-Con. All you nerds out there, I'm one of them. I know, so you see all your favorite Marvel heroes up there on the stage. Kim's doing that. That's what she's doing in our world. How excited are you?
I'm really excited. I mean, I can remember going to ski shows I don't remember when I didn't go to ski shows. When we were kids, we would go to the ski shows. And also our race team, we used to do like demos on the ski slope because the slopes, they used to have really quite a big ski slope in the middle of the show. And we used to do these like kind of every sort of couple of hours, we would do these demonstrations. So we would be at school, then we'd go to Manchester, and we'd do demos of different techniques, and we'd meet all like I remember like they used to also have like an aerials ramp, and so the guys used to do these incredible aerial jumps off this really narrow ramp with. I think there wasn't much margin for error. So it was just this sort of whole festival of skiing. So, it's great to be involved in the National Snow Show this year. Like I say, it's just an environment that I'm really comfortable in. So I've grown up at ski shows and now I'm actually going to be speaking at one. So yeah, I'm absolutely delighted.
I think that's awesome. Like these ski shows are a lot of fun. If you've never been to one out there, definitely check it out. National Snow Show. And again, I'll throw the dates out there. It's October 12th, I want to say.
15th and 16th in Birmingham at the NEC.
There you go, 15 and 16. So I was only off by 3 days this time. That's pretty good. It's better than what I usually get when I mess up.
Well, you probably need to leave then. If you were going to get there, would need to be leaving on that day anyway, really.
Absolutely, you would. I would love to go. I would love to check it out on a whole other continent. I really would. But I will be in Boston in November. Again, same company, Raccoon Events, going to be running them both. And it's a lot of fun. Get out to your local show if you can. Totally do it. If you want to fly to Birmingham just for the fun of it and go to that one and meet Kim and have her sign a book and artwork, you said. Prints.
Yep. I'm going to have art prints. So the favorite pieces from the book and the ones that people have requested as art prints, people are going to be able to have those as wall art. And also I've been developing a range of fabrics. A lot of fabrics and sort of home decor that's related to skiing can be quite sort of nostalgic, and it's sort of back from the kind of like the olden sort of days of skiing. Whereas I've created a range of over 20 fabrics they're modern shapes of equipment, they're bright, colourful, fun. And so I'm really trying to kind of give a new feel to the sort of kind of ski and alpine fabrics, which people can use for like upholstery, for home decor. They could make clothes out of it. So that's all print on demand through Spoonflower. People can have it on cottons, thicker fabrics, stretchy fabrics, whatever they like. They can have my designs on fabric.
That's awesome. I love the idea. Fabrics is not something you see every day. Like you say, there is an importance to it in our industry, but you don't see it. It's still kind of unique that you've done it with your design.
Yeah, so I've been working on new ones. So I'm going to be launching some new ones at the ski show or the snow show. Yeah, it's just, I'm just really keen to see what people make with it. You know, it's like the kind of possibilities are endless, really. And, you know, like if people order, you know, in the next few weeks, then it's reasonable that they would be able to create something, you know, and you know, sell something, make something in time for Christmas.
Absolutely. Like if you get it done, and I'm certain it's worldwide. Is there nothing that ships worldwide nowadays? It's the 21st century, but I'm sure worldwide, right?
Well, it's actually, they were printing in Berlin and in the States, but now it's just all in the States. So it's definitely ideal for the US and North American markets.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're crafty, go ahead, look it up and make something cool. Make something cool for me. I do have crafty people. I will be most likely during the winter putting some of Kim's fabrics in the hands of my craftier friends and be like, make this for me, please. I'll pay them. I'm not a total jerk. It's fine. Now with part of your signing and stuff, I'm looking at your press release here. That's the cool thing about being in the media, guys. I get press releases, so I know everything before everybody else. You're actually working with a charity in part. Is that correct?
Yeah. So part of the work around the Ski A to Z book is about trying to help to make the sport more accessible, just breaking down some of these barriers, giving people confidence to be able to try skiing through information. And a charity which helps young people who wouldn't normally have the opportunity to try skiing and snow sports is Snow Camp. So for each day of the snow show, for the first hour, I'm going to be donating the profits from the sale of the Ski A to Z books to Snow Camp charity, to help raise awareness and also to support young people to actually be able to try the sport.
And that's awesome. I love that. I love those types of charities. I've talked to, and we'll be talking to again, people from SOS Outreach, which is very similar, out in the Midwest, but they cover a good part of the United States. I love these things. Get the kids out early. And I think we talked about that last time too. You agree with that. Get them out there ASAP.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, if people are skiing in the UK, there are a lot of dry slopes, there are the indoor snow slopes, and so people don't always need to be going all the way to the mountains to be able to try the sport. You know, it's like going for, it's like going to play football. You know, you pay your money, you go and play football. You pay your money, you go for a ski. You know, and that's how. Like one of the key places that I skied growing up was at our local dry slope. There was a great community around it and lifelong friendships, and and it's a different experience, but the exhilaration of it, is the speed, the kind of speeding through the air, and and kind of like the flow of your turns. There's a lot of that you can feel and enjoy, even on a dry slope or on an indoor snow slope.
Absolutely. And I am very much pro indoor skiing. I've gotten to try it here at the only one we have. We only have one in the US currently, but there's more being built, and it's a good time. It is different, like Kim said, but it is a lot of fun, and it gets you in. Like Big Snow American Dream, that's our indoor slope here. It's right across the river from New York City. Now you don't have to drive 2-3 hours into the mountains through traffic. You can hop a bus, get over there, and just do it. And it's getting a lot more people out there of all ages. It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, and it gives people a chance to try it, and to test it out and to get to know the basics without having to, to travel further, like you say. So people can save a lot of time on their trip by doing that. And, the facilities that are being planned by Alpine X and Bodie
Mhm.
Miller is involved with that. That's so exciting. It's going to be an interesting time to see that develop in the States.
It really is. Alpine X has I think they have a lot going for them. John Emery is a great guy. Love talking to him. He's CEO over there. He's great. I actually said, are we going to get one in Las Vegas? Because that would be awesome because I love that city. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the first one down there in Virginia to open up. It's going to be great. Again, Kim, come ski over in the U.S. It's a lot of fun. You've been here before.
Yes, I have. Yeah. I've skied in Colorado. I've not skied the East. I have visited Vermont, but it was in the summer, and we went to Stowe. But yeah,
There
I
you go.
would very much like to ski in the States again. It seems like a bit of a funny season potentially ahead for Europe because we've had kind of like drought times and really extreme weather. And so there is some restriction on water, and also with the situation with Ukraine and the gas pipelines, then also there's big impact on like power prices and power supply. And so crossing fingers for a good season, this coming winter.
Yeah, I really, I'm not going to say I'm the best at world current events, but sometimes it's hard. There's just so much going on. And in the 21st century, you get it all fed to you at once. It's hard to sometimes keep it straight. I won't lie about it. But I do hope some of the situations across Europe and across the UK really don't shoot out your seasons. Like it's coming. And, we talked about that here. I mean, again, around the world, like gas and petrol prices went way up. Is that going to affect people's season? And now you have all that over there as well. I hope you're able to get out as much as you want.
Yeah, I hope so. We're just sort of watching and seeing what people are saying at the moment as to where, because you're probably going to be more inclined to go to places that do have the natural snowfall. Maybe there's some of the higher resorts rather than the ones that are more reliant on snowmaking, because they may not have the water to do that. But yeah, I think it's just sort of changing times and I think we just got to appreciate when we do have that time on the slopes and make the most of our mountain time.
Totally. And that's a great way to say it. Make the most of what you got out there because you never know. And again, it's like we were all skiing and having a blast 2 years ago and then the whole world shut down. It's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, I think we've all kind of come back from that sort of with a kind of renewed perspective, haven't we? We're kind of, however people, everyone's experienced really strange times and there's been a lot of heartbreak and I think everyone's just sort of kind of experiencing things on a slightly different level than prior to the pandemic. And yeah, it's just a metaphor that I kind of try and have through all my work is just about enjoying life. It's and just trying to find a balance. And there's a lot of in our society and through marketing, which is encouraging people to do more, be more, have more. And it can just become quite exhausting, And so I think just trying to tune into what people, kind of what you as an individual, kind of where your sort of your joy is and what, kind of where you're happiest, and then trying to sort of cultivate those things for what you want rather than what someone's telling you should want.
Absolutely. 100% agree. See, Kim knows her stuff and she's an awesome woman. And and her book, again, to bring it to the book again, it definitely reflects that. She's not just a worldly person. She knows what she's talking about when she's skiing. And speaking of natural snow, I know in North America, we've had our preliminary, to bring it back to a happier, higher note. We've had our preliminary, forecast. We should have a pretty decent winter here. How's it looking over there for you all?
Well, that's great to hear. I mean, it's I saw something on Facebook earlier saying that they'd have heavy snow in the part of Italy, and they were reopening. I assume that that's like a glacier area, but it looked very snowy. And also, I do follow quite a lot of people that are because of the European glaciers. A lot of people have headed to New Zealand, to South America, so I'm seeing a lot of snow and nice turns coming through on social media at the moment. So I'm getting into the spirit for this coming season.
Absolutely, everybody get into the spirit. I think it seemed to me like Australia, New Zealand, some of it, not all of it, and some of South America had really good seasons. And sometimes when they have good seasons, we in the Northern Hemisphere, Europe, North America, Asia, we have good seasons too. I'm looking forward to it myself. I hope it snows 100 feet. I don't even care.
Well, I thought the other week that you'd bought a ski resort when I saw on social media about Ski Rex Media buying a ski resort. I was very impressed. I was like, yep, get me over there. Can you put my art on some of the ski lifts?
Oh, goodness. So Kim is referencing the sale of J Peak here in Vermont. I did a bit. It was a joke. I wish I could have dropped 70 plus million. I just didn't have it this week. I had to put gas in the car. But I had to, I made a joke that J Peak was going to be renamed Ski Rex Media Mountain Resort. It's been kind of an in bit with some of the people whom I work with. And then I took it national or international if Kim saw it. Really awesome. And I said, yeah, I bought it. And the thing was, the only reason I did it that day, it was because the new buyer was not announced right away. It had to be finalized and all that stuff, the whole business end of it. But man, J Peak is awesome. And let me tell you, if I could have pulled that off, I would have been on the phone, not just stupid emails and DMs. I would have picked up the phone, called across the Atlantic Ocean to the UK and said, Kim, look, I just bought this thing and it has a big tram. I was like, come do my tram cars. If you don't want to do the actual painting work, that's fine. We'll hire people for that. You're famous now.
We'll do decals. I'll do the design. We'll get it arranged on decals and get them on there and have the cable cars looking fantastic.
Oh, totally.
If it happens at any point, I'm definitely on for that.
Oh, I love it. The best I might be able to get for you someday is if I buy a piece of property that has a small hill in the backyard and I build my own rope tow. I might ask you if you can hook me up with something to put on the housing for the batteries, but that's the best I can do.
Cool. Well, also, what I didn't mention actually with Spoonflower is they also print wallpapers. So you can take over a whole wall with a ski theme. And so that might be an alternative. You could do it in your house.
Wow, you really have everyone covered. That's so awesome. And again, it is awesome because A, it's skiing and we all love that here. And B, her artwork is wonderful. It's almost whimsical and it looks great. It's not like, I'm not even sure the word to use because I'm not an art professional. I know what I like and I like Kim's stuff, but it would just look great in some of, say if you have a ski cabin that you go to, say if you're one of these folks that has a second house or a condominium or whatever it may be, it would look great on your wall or it would look great on a pillow on the couch or something similar, I think.
Yeah, that's it. So what I've tried to do with the art is to, when people are skiing, they've often got on a hat or a helmet, they've got goggles on, they might have, like a buff around their face. And so really the emotion can be lost behind all the clothing. So what I've tried to do with the art is to sort of basically unmask skiers. And when people are skiing, they've got goggles on, they've got a buff on, they might have the jacket up around their face. And so it can hide their smile, it can hide the expression and that light in their eyes that people get when they're skiing. So one of the things I've tried to do with the illustrations is to really kind of open that up, to show the emotions, to show the faces and the eyes, to really sort of show those amazing feelings, which is what basically keeps us all coming back to the slopes, isn't it?
It really is. We all love being up there. We're happiest when we're there. And you're right, being able to show that emotion because we don't get to see it. We're all, we were wearing, they said you have to wear a mask when you're skiing. Like, dude, we're wearing them anyway. It's cold. Like, that's what we're doing. And we're all hidden, we can talk, but you can't see it. And we're all very, humans have eyes. We're very visual people. And I love it. I think you have accomplished that goal of showing, I guess, the emotion of it. I think that's great.
Excellent, thank you. And also, it's like what I try to do is I try to make the characters connect with the viewer. Often illustrations, the person won't be actually looking, whereas they're like really sort of making eye contact off the page, with the reader of the book or from the picture, that's on the wall. And so you're actually having a bit of a connection.
No, you definitely do. And again, I say they're great. There's one illustration in the book in particular, the après ski boot. I loved it so much that I says, Kim, is that a possibility? And she said, yes. And I have it, and it's here in my office space. I can look at it anytime I want. It's just wonderful. If you want to know exactly what I mean, go buy the book. Go buy it. It's worth it. Ebook and hardcover, I believe.
Yeah, that's it. You can buy it as an ebook. You can buy it through online. You can buy it through Dan Egan, actually, through Dan Egan's shop. You can buy it through Amazon, Barnes and Noble. So yeah. And then if someone's already got a copy, then please do review it, because I do read every review for the book, and that really helps me to kind of keep going with my work and kind of sort of power me on. So thank you for any reviews, and for future ones, please.
Absolutely. In fact, just a little while ago, I said something similar on my Instagram, and Kim put a comment. Feedback is gold. That's what she said. I
actually thought when I'd done that, I think I might make an illustration about that, because it's so true. Because, it's if you're working, if people are working from home, or you're working, as a sort of as an entity where it's very much yourself or a really small team, then it's like the feedback from other people. It really helps to be motivating and to spur you on.
It is, and I mean, it double for me is that I am an attention seeker. For whatever that is in my psyche, I love attention, but she's not wrong. It's motivating, and it also helps to know what people think. I say that all the time in my world here. I do this podcast. I was like, tell me what you think, because I can't do it right unless someone tells me to do it. We need the feedback as creatives.
Yeah, absolutely. And things, it's like with the prints that I'm offering, people said, I want this one as a print. Like a lot of people said, like yourself, I want the après ski boot as a print. I want this one. I want the other one. I know that Mario on the Highfalutin Ski Bum podcast, he really likes the ski bus, which is it's a bus that's going to the mountains, and it's packed with people. It's so packed that they're coming out the windows. They're sort of coming out the roof of the bus. And I think for a lot of people who might be in ski clubs in the States, or might take these buses from the cities up to the mountains as a group, then that really kind of resonates with people. And so the ones that I've chosen to do as prints, it is based on feedback. It's what people have requested. And that does, like you say, it helps you to be able to create work which like you like yourself, and also sort of hits that spot for your audience.
It does. It really does. And again, that bus illustration she's talking about is also really great, and it almost tells a story. And again, after I get done saying this, I'm going to ask you a goofy question. I always seem to come up with goofy questions sometimes. It's awful, but they're fun, and they're pretty much just for me. But that bus, it tells a story. You can as you're looking at it, it's not really written word, but you can see a whole story involving like this group heading up to the mountain, and the party's already started in the bus, because skiing is a big social thing. It's a big party thing. And, it's very awesome. With that said, because again, her illustrations can tell stories just by themselves. Picture paints 1,000 words, use your own cliche, whatever you want. Have you ever thought of taking it to do an actual like specific story? Because you're an illustrator, and like I brought up nerd stuff before, would you think about comic books, doing an actual storybook, something like this?
I have an idea for that, but I have also been thinking that something that is on the wish list would be, say, to pitch some characters to Nickelodeon, for Nickelodeon to take them then and animate them. So that's an idea. And obviously then there probably would be a spin-off book and products and toys and things, and so
you would be entering a whole new world, a very interesting world at that. That would be incredible. I would love to see that. I'd actually start watching Nickelodeon again. I haven't watched that since I was a kid.
I think the Nickelodeon's probably, there might be other channels that exist. But that's sort of like a thought, is it like kind of to send something through to Nickelodeon. And like with the book, I pitched the book. I didn't know whether I would hear anything, and you don't know if you don't ask, if you don't try. Yeah,
you miss every shot you don't take. That's what they say in the basketball world. And again, seeing a fiction work come from you, I think would be great with your illustration, your design, because even though, and like you were saying before, people see your illustrations and make that assumption that it's a kid's book. It's not a kid's book. It's very practical. It's just illustrated.
Yeah, and it also, it's got three people enjoying a hot chocolate hot tub, so it's definitely not only for children. There's nothing
exactly.
It's not age appropriate, but it's for everybody.
It is for everybody. Yeah, that's actually a great piece too. I dig that one, and I'm sure I'm half surprised with the popularity of the book. So because there's people out there that would do it. I say don't do it. It's a safety thing. If you want to do it with cold chocolate, that's fine. Don't do it with hot chocolate. I mean it's a hot tub, so whatever, but be careful, please. And just so you know, cleaning that is going to be a son of a gun.
Absolutely.
But hey,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's part of the beauty of illustration, is that you can create something that doesn't exist. Like you know what I mean? Like for example, a new piece that I've been working on is going along the idea of the après ski boot. So basically, the après ski boot, for anyone that's not seen it, is if you imagine a ski boot, but this is a ski boot which is also a sunrise cocktail. And it's also like a building, which is like a bar and a centre for après ski. So basically, it's about the fact that après ski is party in your ski boots. So the illustration is a party in a ski boot, basically. So, but what I've just been working on is this one's based on a hiking boot. And so the hiking boot is in the form of a hiking boot, but it's also a hill, and the small silhouetted characters on that, exploring it, climbing it, mountain biking on it, and and then there's some people on the top of it that are doing a selfie, kind of having reached the peak. So that one will be next week. That will be going on my website, so that will be there by the time the podcast goes out.
Excellent. Like that's great. She's now covering you all the other people, because I stay in the mountains when the snow melts. I'm hiking and stuff. So now you're covered too. And again, it's a thing where you see it and it almost tells its own story, because she does have small little characters doing stuff. They're taking part in these sports that we enjoy, and they're very wonderful. I can't wait to see the hiking boot. That's great.
Yeah, it's proving to be popular with people. There's only a small number of people. I did an outdoor event at like a sort of stately home that's kind of just by us, which I visit like a few times a week. So they were having a fair, so I said I'm going to have a stall there. So I created that one to be able to launch that there. And I think that people can relate to what the people are doing in the illustration, and so the illustration kind of sparks people's memories about their own times doing that kind of thing, and so it's nice, because although they're not in the picture, they can see themselves in that scenario, and it sparks positive memories.
It does. And it gets your own imagination flowing. Like now, thinking about that après ski boot, if I would have been able to buy that mountain, not only are we doing the tram cars, we're building the boot.
Oh, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would
because
be.
If I can buy a ski mountain, I have the money. And I'd be calling up architects. Could you do this?
Yeah. If we can dream it, we can do it.
Yeah. If you can dream it, you can build it. It's the 21st century. We practically have Star Trek technology out there. We can get it done. Kim is getting it done. Her book is all over the place. Again, she's going to be touring. Let's let her kick out. Before we get out of here, let's let her give out all of her information, dates, anything you want. Tell the masses.
Yeah, so I'm going to be, as I say, speaking and having stand D76 at the National Snow Show in Birmingham on the 15th and 16th of October. So I'll be signing books there. I'll have ski art prints. You can see the fabrics. They'll have the fabric samples there. And I'll be speaking on Sunday afternoon. And I believe that Dan Egan will be at Boston, the expo in Boston, Snowbound Expo. And Dan's, like I say, Dan's been selling Ski A to Z books through his website, and also he's been taking copies with him on his book signing tour. So Dan may have some copies there to be able to buy, and I'm hoping I can send some signed copies across with Dan when he heads back. But I need to talk to Dan about that and about his how many can fit in his bag. So those are the kind of the big sort of coming up events. I'll also be doing some sort of smaller events at ski slopes in the UK, but those are the biggies. So basically all my information is at my website, which is inspirebykim.com, Or if you can't remember that, you can put in skiatoz.com. That will also take you to my website. And on Instagram, I'm at Inspired by Kim. Also on Twitter. But my main place really there is Instagram and my website. So so come along, subscribe, join, follow. And if people want art that's specifically created for them, might be for marketing, it might be for for a project that they're doing, which is promoting skiing, then I'm happy to to create bespoke art for projects. I'm excited to do that for things that are positive. I wouldn't do stuff for tobacco products, but otherwise, as long as it's positive, it's in its intent, I'm happy to create new work.
See, she's got you covered in any which way you want. It's very awesome. And for those, again, I didn't realize that Egan was selling the book on his website. And the connection there, for those who don't know, is some of Kim's illustrations were in 30 Years in a White Haze, Dan Egan's book that he wrote with Eric Wilbur, all about his life. It's a wonderful book. And some of Kim's illustrations are in that book.
Yeah, 22 illustrations in the book. So, I'm really grateful to Dan for that opportunity. It's fabulous to see those in print, and I think it really helped to inspire me to feel that I could, create my own book, and it was something that I mentioned to the publisher when I was pitching my book concept to them, and so I really think that it's part of the success of being able to have my book is having worked on Dan's. So really grateful to Dan and his team for their support.
Dan is great. Dan Egan is a wonderful human being, very nice guy. I've met him in person now once at the Hall of Fame, and it was just like I had known the guy. He introduced me to Seth Westcott and just, talk to this guy for a few minutes and do this. And it's just like, he's just a great guy. 30 Years in a White Haze is also a good book. Go check Dan Egan's book out again. Kimberley Kay, her book, Skiing A to Z or A to Z, depending on which side of the ocean you're on. That's right. I speak English and American. I do speak 2 languages, and I don't have a book yet, but you know what? I feel left out. So I'm going to go write a book. But Kimberley Kay, again, thank you for being on a second time. She is a two-peat offender here on the Ski Rex Media Podcast, one of our UK friends. I love when Kim's here. Thank you again, Kim.
You're welcome. And if you do the book, I'm happy to illustrate it for you.
Believe me, I now have, since you're saying you can do things for folks, I have a few ideas kicking in my head. I'll have to finalize them and get them out. So again, check her out. Inspired by Kim. No D, not inspired by. Inspiredbykim.com, skiatoz.com, Inspired by Kim on Instagram. Look in the show notes. If you listen in the car, don't look until you stop. You will get a ticket or worse. Check her out. The book is awesome. The artwork is awesome. So even if you're not interested in the book, check out the other, the prints, the fabrics, everything. It's just wonderful. One of my favorite people in the ski art world. And it is an actual world out there of ski art. Again, Kim, thank you very much. And I hope you have a great season. You get out there, man.
Yeah, I hope so. And you too, and everyone that's listening, have a great season.
Absolutely, everyone. Have a great season. And as I said at the beginning, check out Whaleback Mountain if you can. They're partnered with me. I'm partnered with them, and it really is a great place. It's small, but it's everything you could ever want in a small package with no lines, and it won't break your bank account to get a ticket there. That's right, a day ticket. It's even their most expensive ticket during the day is like $50. It's not bad compared to some of the other places in the area that are 100, 150. And do the math for everybody else around the world for your currency, because I don't know them all. Again, thanks to Kimberley Kay for coming on the program. Thank you for listening to the program, skirexmedia.com and Ski Rex Media on all the social medias. I will see you on the next one next week. I don't remember who's going to be on next week, but you'll see it when it comes out. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you on the next one later.